Hello and welcome to Unapologetic, the UK podcast on politics, news and stuff from a right-of-centre viewpoint. And here we are, post-election at last, and we had a pretty good result, didn't we? What do you think? Were you pleased with the result, Sam?
Obviously.
Susan?
No, it's good. No.
Jonathan?
Well, I did predict 83 majority, and they let me down.
Stop showing off. It must have been you were the only one of us who actually got close to the final result, because although I think we all thought we were going to win, I think, actually, didn't you say hung
Oh, yeah, I thought it was going to be
Yeah, that's right,
I didn't
but
think we were going to win with the majority that we did.
I think I guessed 30 or something, and you were the only one who got close, Jonathan. So well done, elder statesman indeed, and for a reason. So here we are with the usual team. We've got Sam and Susan and Jonathan and me. I'm Steve, and this is I. Oh dear. You see, now I've given them all a glass of wine, so this is probably going to become a very difficult podcast. But I thought first we'd have a little chat about Christmas, because this is our Christmas special. Now, just to get into the spirit of things, if you could all say Christmas special all at the same time, go.
Christmas special.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I thought it was going to be much worse than that. I thought he was going to be so ragged.
We've only just started on the way.
Okay, so a couple of questions I would ask you about Christmas. So the first thing is, what are your plans for Christmas, Sam? Where are you going for Christmas Day?
My mum's and then my other friend's house to have some curry.
Curry on Christmas Day?
Yeah, I had it last year. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
But aren't you also having curry on Christmas Eve?
Yeah. I'm even thinking about having curry tonight and tomorrow as well. What's the problem?
Oh, Sam.
One time, me and my friend Dave had 5 curries in 1 week. That's not even a lie.
I know, I remember you texting me.
So Susan, what's your plans for Christmas Day?
So this Christmas is the first time my eldest daughter is not going to be with us on Christmas morning. Obviously she's moved out now, so...
And you going back?
Well, we're going down hers for Christmas Eve night. Christmas night, sorry, not Christmas Eve. Christmas night. So we're having just me and my husband and little one on the Christmas day, and then going down there. And then I'm having a big Boxing Day where she's coming down with her little crew.
And it's hard, isn't it? I mean, because my son's still at home, and so we still have Christmas together. But I can imagine when he goes off to uni or whatever he decides to do, and you have that first time where he's not around on Christmas. Very strange.
Very, very strange. I'm not overly looking forward to it, but she has got such a lovely little family, so we're sharing that. But personally, I'd like him to sleep down Christmas Eve night.
You can't lock them in a cupboard under the stairs, can you? It's not allowed.
Well, you can. It's when they get out that's the problem. It's frowned upon, especially in my career. So.
Jonathan, what's your plans for Christmas Day?
Christmas Day, go and see my little brother.
Okay, is that it? Are you going to eat any food, or you just see him and then kind of come home?
Well, no, we usually have tons and tons of food, and that's about it, really.
That sounds pretty good, all in all.
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone's going to have a nice time, hopefully. So I was going to ask you, in regards to Christmas dinner, and this was because I had a discussion with someone about this the other day, and nobody seemed to have the same idea. What 2 things, and you're not allowed to include turkey. Turkey's not on the list here. But what two normal things at a Christmas dinner could you definitely not be without? If you could be without anything else, but you had turkey and 2 other things, what are the 2 things you just can't be without?
Roast potato and cranberry sauce.
Okay, so Susan's is roast potato and cranberry sauce.
Yeah, I love cranberry sauce.
What a space waster. Well, you could have had Yorkshire pudding, stuffing, pigs and blankets.
I've got to agree with you there. Cranberry sauce with sausages, with roast potatoes,
anything.
With anything. You need cranberry sauce.
I'm friends with these people.
It's just a very festive sauce.
So
I like it.
Jonathan, is this your 2 as well then? Roast potatoes and cranberry sauce? Is that your 2?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
The cranberry sauce, we did all right this year because the local charity shop were, for some reason, being given loads of it by Lidl and were giving it away. So I got 6 jars of it.
I think you're supposed to give them a donation.
Well, I did, yeah.
Sam, what 2 could you not be without then?
Pigs in blankets and Yorkshire puddings. And apparently it's disputed as to whether they go on a Christmas dinner, but they either do or you're wrong.
What, piggies?
No, Yorkshire puddings.
How would you not have
Exactly.
Christmas dinner?
Exactly.
Some people say it's not part of a Christmas dinner.
Yeah.
Those people are wrong.
Exactly. So yeah, that's for me. You can't ever have a roast dinner without Yorkshire pudding, and the pigs in blankets definitely make a festive treat.
No, but it's just the little roast potatoes when you make them little and crisp them all up. Oh my god!
I haven't had potatoes for 8
melting
weeks, so I can live without them for another week.
Oh.
Just so that viewers can understand, Sam is on this keto diet where you can't have any carbs, and so
or sugar,
or any sort of anything.
So
sugar is carbs.
So Sam's a riot at the minute. It's full of laughs.
So the idea of having potatoes on Christmas Day is like, yes.
No, I'm actually really not looking. I'm not actually that bothered about having the potatoes on Christmas Day, to be honest with you.
You're such a liar.
I bet you.
No, I'm really
You're
not.
okay.
Oddly, this is going to sound stupid because like me 8 weeks ago, would never think this was the thing I would really miss, but I really miss peas.
Well, it's funny because
Peas are really high in sugar, so you can't have them, and I actually never thought I'd miss peas, but I really do.
that's also one of my two things, you see. So my two things for Christmas dinner that you can't be without are peas and gravy.
Oh, gravy,
Peas
yeah,
and
that's a
gravy.
good
See,
shout.
turkey,
friends.
peas and gravy
Yeah.
has been...
Exactly.
I don't have a dry
How are we
Christmas
friends?
dinner.
I don't even have cranberry sauce on.
Yeah,
my
I don't
Christmas
have
dinner.
cranberry
Oh.
sauce.
I have what's the hot one called? Horseradish sauce and English mustard, but not cranberry.
I don't have
You're
cranberry
literally
sauce.
turning me
Yeah.
into like a Lib Dem or something, you guys are.
Well, if you eat cranberry sauce, you basically are a Lib Dem.
With your peas, you're green, aren't you?
What political party
Jonathan-
by Christmas dinner choices?
Clearly, there's a divide here. Me and Jonathan are on the correct side, and
Yeah.
you two on the wrong side.
The other thing I'm not fond of is turkey. So
Yeah,
I hate
I
turkey.
don't actually.
Yeah, but it's not.
If you're gonna
It's
have-
not the best meat, but it is the Christmas meat.
No, I
True.
haven't had it on my Christmas table for years.
Really, we usually have it with gammon as well, so you've got an extra cut.
We have gammon pork, and when little one was not a vegetarian, we used to have chicken as well. So we used to have 3 different meats.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
said the cure for vegetarianism is a slap across the back
I
of
know,
the head.
I'm trying. I'm
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
turn her back, but it's been nearly a year and a half now.
What's that
She
dinner you
won't
can have,
stop.
Jonathan? You'll know this. What's that dinner you can have where there's a meat in a meat in a meat in a meat? It's like
It's like a
there's
3-bird roast.
Wellington, isn't it? Beef
No,
Wellington.
no, no.
three-bird
no.
roast.
Three-bird
That's it.
roast
And
it's
what,
called. It's like a pheasant inside of something, inside a partridge or something.
in a
Yeah.
pear tree.
I don't know. I don't really
I'm not
like
sure she got
games,
that.
to be honest with you.
Well, I like game, but I'm mucking around with it like that. I mean, we usually have game at Christmas. We're pheasants or whatever, and Christmas Day.
I couldn't eat a
and-
pheasant.
We usually have a game on Christmas, but it's
Partridge.
normally Monopoly.
No, I don't want to eat anything that's not. I like regular meat.
Partridge
not
is a
the-
lot of work to get the meat off of it. You don't get much meat on a
Well,
partridge.
you just have more of them. That's all.
It's a lot of hassle.
Don't.
All right, so look, I've got a real news story here. It's quite.
It's all right.
I'm going to have to get you a bit serious for a minute because it's quite a serious news story. So, a girl aged 6 discovered a desperate note in her Tesco Christmas cards from caged slaves in China, forced to work against their will. Florence Widdicombe from Tooting, South London, was stunned when she opened the new box of charity cards to send to her friends and found the scrawled message inside. It is believed to have been written by a foreign prisoner who was made to pack the cards in boxes at a gulag in Shanghai, the Sunday Times reports. Inside one card, featuring a cute kitten and a Santa hat on the front, it said, "We are foreign prisoners in Shanghai," I don't know how you pronounce that, Jonathan, Qingpu Prison, China? I don't
No
know.
idea.
"Forced to work against our will, please help us and notify Human Rights Organisation." So Florence's dad Ben said, "When I looked at the message on the card, I thought it was incredible and wondered if it was a prank. But then he decided to pass it on to the its intended recipient because he thinks it was very risky for the prisoners to put that note inside." So what do you make of this? Tesco's using forced labour for their Christmas cards? What do you think, Susan?
Well, I don't know. Right, so first of all, you say slaves, they're prisoners. There's a difference, isn't there? Because slave's someone that's being held against their will and actually their human rights have been taken off them. A prisoner is someone that has forfeited their human rights because they've committed a crime. So my sympathy's not automatically there, I have to say.
But surely if they're actually in a prison, they're not going to be writing messages like, "Look, I'm in prison, but can you help me
Wouldn't
get
you?
out?"
Why wouldn't you? Yeah.
This is the day and
I
age,
would.
though, where that stuff works, isn't it? That is literally the day and age. You can murder someone, then go, "Oh, but I'm really sorry now, and actually these people are making me, sleep on a hard bed, and I want 50 grand off
And
the
these
government."
prisoners are intuitive. I mean, I know someone that, had a game that prisoners were using to send messages to each other encryptedly and stuff. So these prisoners have got clever ideas.
What do you think, Jonathan?
Well, they employed British prisoners to sort of transcribe stuff from the National Archives, the various censuses from the last century, and that was all
That
very
sounds like
well.
punishment.
Well, no,
Sounds like
but,
punishment if you're being paid.
That's too far. I don't agree with that.
but the result of it was that they were writing nasty comments about prison officers who appeared on the census, so or various people with various names. So getting a note from a convicted prisoner complaining about his conditions. Yeah, okay. So what?
I know someone that lives in Wisbech. I won't name them because I don't want to embarrass them, but they
You've just doxed us, you realise that?
they what have doxed me?
I mean, you let people know where we live.
No, I didn't say we lived in Wisbech. You said there's a person in Wisbech.
Oh,
Well, now we
You
do.
know it.
Now
Well
you-
done, Steve. Well done. So everyone.
Like
lives
it was a
in
big
Wisbech.
secret
Like
in the
a-
first place.
Anyway, so I won't name them, but they collect celebrity autographs, and they were telling me the other day that they accidentally now have got right into Peter Sutcliffe because they wrote to him asking for an autograph because they thought it'd be quite a good one to sell, and He then started writing to this person, and then now they feel sort of obliged to keep up the correspondence.
That's
I
British common. That's British politeness.
Exactly.
Really.
Oh, well, he's written to me, so I suppose I better write back. Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
The person is though. This person's got such a dry sense of humour. It's really hard to know whether they were actually joking or not, and I'm still to this day don't know.
But this story pans a bit further. It's a recent ex-prisoner said they've been packing Christmas cards for Tesco and also Tesco gift tags for at least 2 years. The foreign prisoners just package the cards. They pick different designs, put them into boxes, seal them, and pack them into shipping cartons, which means they picked that cute kitten. The shocking discovery has raised worrying questions over Tesco's relationship with its Chinese suppliers and their use of forced prison labour. So not quite the same as slaves if it's forced prison labour. Well spotted, Susan. So Tesco has now launched a probe into the discovery and suspended use of the factory.
Yeah, but I think though we need to look at this. Chinese prisons aren't the same as UK prison. These aren't nice places where people are getting 3 meals a day and TV privileges and stuff. This is prison in China.
Well, it didn't deter them, so it can't be that bad. Like, I know it sounds really horrible, but how many times do you see on the internet people going, oh, it's ridiculous that, you know, you've got old people that are starving on the streets, and if you break the law, you're suddenly given 3 meals a day, a nice warm bed, and blah, blah, blah. So actually, maybe our prison service needs to be a little bit more Chinese.
The interest, you mentioned elderly people there, because they took away the old people, or BBC took away the old people's free television licence. And yet, prisoners in this country have a free television licence.
So
they don't have to buy their own.
Yeah.
I don't know though, if you're going to make a case for making prisoners tougher, I'm not sure forcing them to pick fluffy kitten photos is exactly the way I would go.
Well, if I was in charge of that prison, she'd be getting punishment now for putting in that, for ruining that box.
Well, this is probably why Tesco have ended the relationship with them, because it's a quality control issue, isn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, you don't want, cards being sent out which have all got stuff scrolled in them.
Tesco's are probably like, oh, they've caught onto the prison labour rules, better move on.
But there is an argument for rehabilitation, isn't there? So you can't just stick people in a box and say you've been bad. The whole idea of it is that you stick people in a box and try and teach them to do the right thing, so when they come out of the box, they're better.
And to be fair, there's much worse things they could have written in that card.
And there's lots worse jobs that they could be doing. They're literally stuffing envelopes.
If they were spending 15 hours a day breaking rocks, they might have something to complain about.
And if I found that Christmas card with that written on it, I think I'd frame that and keep it in my house, because that's like a legendary story, isn't it?
I'd go back
Some
to B&M.
guy sent me a secret message.
Some of us
I'd love
spent the morning stuffing envelopes for free.
Yeah, exactly.
Already today.
The only thing I'd be annoyed at is I'd go back to B&M and sit and say, you gave me only 29 cards that I can use rather than the 30. I'd like my money back. This is a dreadful thing. I don't want it. And off I go.
Customer service issue, clearly.
Yeah.
All right, so look, back to the Christmas.
Mentioning Tesco.
Oh, Jonathan's jumped in.
No, the one because it's Tesco's and Christmas, and I was looking at their sort of
Other
shop.
supermarkets are available.
They are, but
Supermarkets.
the other supermarkets weren't the one I was looking at the shop hours. And Christmas Eve, believe it or not, the one locally, which is a 24-hour Tesco, is closing at 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
As it shouldn't even be open on Christmas Eve.
No, it's closing at 7 on Christmas Eve. I saw online.
No, you've missed the point. That 2 p.m. on Christmas Eve is exactly the time that males start their Christmas shopping.
That's right.
So you know, if you're male, you start at 2 after you got out of work, and 2 o'clock on Christmas Eve you start your Christmas shopping. And
Other
Tesco's,
male attitudes are available.
yes, yeah, if you're gay, Tesco's.
Jonathan!
Well, they probably do their shopping earlier. But I mean, most blokes, it's about 2 o'clock on Christmas Eve.
I'm absolutely sure that anybody who's any sexual preference is able to do their shopping in their own personal way. He says quickly, lawyers on alert.
You plonker.
Okay, let me ask you a question. What's the best Christmas alcoholic drink, Susan?
I don't drink.
It doesn't have to be
No,
okay,
I
no,
know
it's
people always
alcoholic,
look to me. I'm not a Mormon. I'm genuine. I just
You can
don't
still
drink
pick the best
alcohol.
one though.
When every once in a blue moon, maybe I'll have a wine with loads of lemonade in. So I think they call it a wine spritzer.
Oh, that's really questionable.
Is that right? That's
Getting
how.
dangerous now.
Yeah, I'm going to keep out the alcohol conversation because I just sound really sad when I talk about it.
Sam, best Christmas drink.
It's got to be Snowball. But it's got to be Snowball how Andrew Lynn makes it, which is with a bit of sherry in it.
Why do you keep dropping these names in that nobody who's watching the show knows?
Because I like it, because then they'll like research the person and be like, ooh.
So readers know Andrew Lynn is a local Conservative councillor who we know.
And he makes really good snowballs and he adds sherry to them.
And he doesn't converse with criminals.
No.
That's not the same person.
No, and it's absolutely nothing to do with any sexual preferences anyone's got. Jonathan, what's your favourite alcoholic drink for Christmas?
Oh, it's definitely red wine.
Red wine?
Yeah.
But you're drinking white wine tonight.
I know, but that's because I was bullied into it.
Peer pressure drinking.
Yeah, exactly.
Just say no. You know you can say no, right?
Well, I was offered red or white, so I said red, and then I got a white. So there you go.
Never mind.
We live in a style.
This is real first world problems here.
It is, yeah.
I'm going to go with Irish coffee. I really like a nice Irish coffee with the whole cream floating on the top, done perfectly. I think that's delicious. I also like Snowball, but it's already been said. So yeah, it's got whiskey in it. Irish whiskey.
Can
it's done
can
right.
have brandy in it, or can have...
No, then it's not an Irish coffee. It's the only Irish coffee if it's got Irish whiskey.
It's got
in it.
With an E.
With an E?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you like.
Whiskey with an E.
You can
It's
spell it
Irish
any
whiskey.
way you want to,
Whiskey
Jonathan.
without an E. It's Scottish whiskey.
Or American.
No, that's
No,
not
I
whiskey,
think-
it's bourbon. They don't have whiskey in America. They have bourbon.
I'm sure they do have whiskey. in
They
America.
don't. If
They
you look
must
at
have.
whatever whiskey, it's all like Jack Daniels, all stuff like that. It's all bourbon.
Fair enough. I don't know enough
Jack
about
Daniel's
that.
not whiskey then.
No, they call it whiskey, but it's bourbon. There's a difference between whiskey and bourbon.
That's why I don't bother. It's just too complicated. It's a minefield.
Fair enough. Good. Okay. Right. So moving on to another news story, and this
And
one.
that's why Scotch is just Scottish whiskey. So Jameson's isn't a Scotch because it's Irish whiskey.
You're not just playing about with names.
People are going to be watching this and going to be like, no, technically that's you're going to have all the people who
Whiskey
really
connoisseurs.
are going to be telling you how wrong you are. Anyway, my news story is about the rapper Stormzy, and the rapper Stormzy claims that the UK is definitely 100% racist. That's his words, 100% racist. In his latest tirade against Boris Johnson after telling kids he's a bad man. Stormzy has claimed that the UK is definitely 100% racist, and the Grime Star said the newly elected Prime Minister's comments about letterbox Muslim women in a column last year has emboldened Brits with similar views. Stormzy said to the group at Kensington Avenue Primary School, Boris is a very, very bad man. You know, the big bad wolf. He's going to come down and blow your house up. That's right, I don't like Boris. Good Morning Britain star Piers Morgan was quick to comment, writing on Twitter, he shouldn't have done this and shouldn't have been allowed to do this. And the rapper responded, the kid asked me a question. I replied truthfully, nothing wrong with that, Piers, lol. So what do you make of this, Sam?
I don't know really. I think that he's always got a lot to say, and it's a shame that he sees himself as a bit of a role model and he's being so biased and also a bit stupid because how can 100% of the whole country be racist, even himself, if it's 100%?
Fair point. Fair point. And Susan,
Statistically inaccurate.
Susan made her feelings clear by doing a hand gesture, but I don't think we can do that. So Susan, you tell us what you think. Interpret that hand gesture for us.
So originally I didn't know who he was. So when you first said about him, I quickly googled him, and he's a rapper. That is it. So his qualifications in personality analysis is quite slim, if I'm honest. And just the fact that he says that to a child, I mean, that's quite a harsh comment to have when you're talking to a child. And it has been since deleted, which makes him a bit of a coward. So if you're going to gob off and you're going to say it, then I suggest you stand by it. So I don't think very much of him.
So do you hear that, Stormzy? Susan says you're gobbing off, you stand by what you say, or she'll come over there and have a word with you. Jonathan, what do you think of it? Did you know who Stormzy was?
I was vaguely aware.
We're such boomers, aren't we? I did know who Stormzy was.
I know who he was.
Sam
I
knew
can name a
Stormzy
couple
was.
of his songs even.
Well,
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
Did that Blinded
'Cause
by
you're
Your
not giving
Face?
him-
No, he's done a couple of okay songs actually, and when he started out, some of his songs were okay, but then he just got really political and just started doing all these political songs. And I just thought, oh, you're
Yeah,
an
but
idiot
it's
now.
easy to do that when you're a multi-millionaire, isn't it? You can tell everyone else what to do. All
Well,
the
that's
time.
true. If Corbyn had got in, he'd be the first to leave the country and take his
Yes.
overtaxed money elsewhere where he couldn't be got, I'm sure.
Mm.
So what do you think, Jonathan? We cut you off there.
Well, no, I mean, he's a rapper, so basically he's sort of equivalent of a street busker, and his political views are that equivalent of a street busker.
I'm not sure why rap is similar to street. I mean, rap is a different style of music to some other music,
It's
but
sort of street music, and he's a busker.
fair enough. Okay, you realise it's just kind of words to music, rapping.
Yes.
You don't have to do it on the street. You can do it on records and all sorts of places. In fact, it's come up quite a lot in the world these days with all sorts of different people doing rapping. But I think it's a lot more respected than it was when it first appeared. But
Steve, it's still rap, and I spell that with a C.
It's quite witty, that, Jonathan. Well done.
reminds me of I can't think The Last Boy Scout, and I think of Bruce Willis's line when he's asked how can I, what did he ask him to do? How can I make you shut up or something? And he, how can I make you angry? And he said, play some rap music. So he wasn't a fan either. I don't think that was exactly the line, but it was something like that. Anyway, moving on. I
was going to say, Katie Hopkins has got a few words to say about that little tweet.
No, let's not
She's a bit too controversial.
Yeah, Katie Hopkins, yeah. She's as far one side as Stormzy is the other,
I know,
I think.
but I do find her really amusing. I do.
Well, Stormzy was quite amusing when he said the entire country, including himself, was racist.
Yeah, but someone's now saying that he just said that the UK is 100% racist, not 100% of the UK is racist. Which I think is a play on words, if I'm honest with you. I'm trying to squeeze out of that little statement. Okay, we'll leave Katie, but I do think we should talk about her once in a while.
Did you attend maths class with Diane Abbott? This is the question.
Might as well have.
Yeah, but I think it was really a turn of phrase, wasn't it? So we shouldn't really pick apart a turn of phrase. But I think his point is, it's that same point that the left always use. They always try and use the word racist on the right, don't they? They always try that as a form of attack, to silence you, to stop you sharing your views. I mean, all it seems that racist means is you want some controls on immigration. And in fact, you know, it's really got little to do with race, so much as to just do with making sure you know who's coming in and out of your borders.
Well, the other thing about all of Brexit and so on, at the end of the day, it was an argument about a trade deal. It got nothing to, in theory, to do with immigration at all. It's to do with a trade deal. That was all it was.
I don't think it's,
And
that's
you
an
can't-
oversimplification.
Yeah,
Well,
I
no,
mean,
it
there
is-
certainly are some people who voted on
That was
immigration.
how it was sold when we first went into it. It was a trade deal.
Yeah, but
and when we've left it, it's still a trade deal.
Yeah, but some people didn't vote on it on
that's
that
as
basis,
bad as
did
the
they?
left, because the left say it was all about immigration. That is just plain wrong.
Yeah.
Most of the people I know were voting because they wanted us to make our own laws and
Yeah.
be sovereign. But to say that it's not at all about immigration is also
Wrong.
false.
It's like when everyone says, "Oh,
I
we
didn't
need
say
to."
it's about immigration. But it's a. At the end of the day, it was a trade deal, and you can't call someone racist because they choose to opt out of a trade deal.
All right, another Christmas question for you. This one is, it's quite common in the evening after you've had your big dinners, for you to have to put some tea together, right? But everyone's stuffed from their Christmas dinners and got very little space left. So what is the thing that you deliver at tea time on Christmas Day when you know that everyone can't eat anything more anyway? And I won't ask you this yet, Sam, because I think I know your answer. What's your answer, Susan?
We just have like bits and bobs, so like the cold bits of meats.
Leftovers.
Yeah, just we don't actually have a tea. By the time you've eaten, we have lunch about, I don't know, 2ish. So we have a nice big breakfast, and we have lunch about 2 or 3. So yeah, we just,
Breakfast as well.
yeah,
Yeah. Everyone, it's like croissants and jam, and I used to have.
Yeah.
I just eat a
Yeah,
couple of
but-
items from one of the selection packs I've received.
No, we
Yeah, you do that as well as the
Yeah,
breakfast.
that's in between
This is it, right?
breakfast
You
and
wake
lunch.
up, you have a bit of your selection box chocolate, you then go and have some croissants,
A
with
cup of
jam,
tea.
and yeah, with your cup of tea.
Croissants
Then you
with
have
jam.
egg and butter. But then you have your Christmas dinner, and then in the night time, what I usually would have if I wasn't going for this Indian meal with my friends, we have like a proper buffet tea. So you have your Pringles, your cheese board, your cold meats, your ham, your sausage rolls. We have a proper spread.
Oh, so I do it slightly different. So in the morning we have cheese and bacon turnovers. We make them the night before and then pop them in the oven. And then we have lunch about 2 or 3. And then for tea we just eat random bits like your so stuff. You have chocolate and whatever else. And then Boxing Day we do a massive Boxing Day spread. So then it's like cheeses, pickled onions, you name it, all across the table, and everyone just eats all day.
Jonathan?
I spent all of my when I was about 30,
Back in
I-
1974.
yeah, I threw an absolute fit one Christmas morning, and
Hang on, 1974 is not a long time ago. Why are you acting like that's ancient?
It is a long
74,
time ago.
yeah, it's a really long time ago.
I was a kid in 1974. Jonathan's older than me.
I'm going to say 1974. I was just starting my apprenticeship, so yeah.
It's like 40 odd years ago.
So you
50
was a
years ago
grown
now,
adult and
maybe.
you threw a fit on Christmas morning.
Yes.
Carry on.
Yeah. The reason was I went to the fridge to get something to eat, and my mother said, "You're not having anything to eat, and we're having a big meal." And I knew the big meal wasn't coming for another 2 hours, and I just threw a complete wobbler, and then
you got right smack bum in my house.
and
Not
went,
my house, but my house.
stormed
earlier.
off, drove home, and had fish fingers and yogurts for my Christmas lunch, and
I don't feel like you really won in that scenario.
Yeah, I feel like you're a spoiled brat.
I don't know. Fish fingers and yogurt ain't too bad.
Analysing it afterwards, because I thought, why did that happen?
You were hangry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
You were
thought,
hangry, yeah.
That's an actual thing.
and
I
I
get really
realised
hangry.
that this routine had gone on for 30 years. And I'd
For 30 years, you just had fish fingers and yogurt for your Christmas
no,
night.
had no breakfast, and I
Alright.
spent every Christmas morning as a child being hungry, and I hate it.
In fact, I've got
because they wouldn't
croissants
do
on
a
Christmas Eve
breakfast
I
because we're
forgot
going to have a
get
big
them.
meal.
No.
Pass the bottle over, we'll top up your wine glasses.
You have to. You absolutely have to have a breakfast.
Yeah.
But it's Christmas.
As I say, I do now.
Because you've got to
but-
think, most people, especially if you've got kids, but I mean, I anyway get up early, even without kids, because I like Christmas. You get up at like 6 or 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
So you're hungry. So you have your little bits of your selection box.
Yeah.
Then you have your croissants. Then you have your dinner about 1. Then you have your tea.
You're
What are you
Have we suddenly become French? I have a slice of
No,
toast.
yeah, because
an English
exactly. But
breakfast.
the point is, Christmas is supposed to be like a
Bit
posh,
fancy,
bit
bit nice,
fancy.
bit
So you have
different.
croissants.
Bit
Yeah.
different.
So you have your fancy
Eggy
croissants.
toast.
Okay, what's this 1 o'clock bit? You have your lunch after the Queen's speech.
I've
No,
never
that's
watched
too
it.
late.
No,
3
no.
o'clock.
So
We're-
I've
I'm not
been
gonna lie,
hungry
man,
since
I've
I
never
got up
watched
first
it.
thing
We're all-
till 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
We're all laying on the floor and on the couch half asleep,
Yeah.
and you vaguely try and rouse yourself to pay attention to the Queen, but you're so full of food, you're like a little rotund
Every
belly
year we
going.
watch it. My nan demands we watch it, and she's my nan, and we care about her, so we let her watch it. And
We
sit
have
there
never-
and-
You let her watch it.
No,
That's
in the
kind of
sense,
you.
I don't mean that we let her watch it. We just make a point. Like most,
Okay,
you
Nan,
could
you
just
come
put
out
it
from the
on.
cupboard under the stairs.
No, but you can put it on and all go out. But we make a point of all trying to pretend to be, included and enjoying it. And actually, I don't mind it. It is sort of part of Christmas, isn't it?
Yes, very much.
No. So.
What do you mean, no?
Yes, no. Well, yeah, it's part of other people's Christmas.
She's the head of the
We've
Church of
never
England.
watched
It's
it.
supposed to be about the birth of Jesus.
You
Can
get-
I just get back to that?
Christmas
She is the
not
head
about
of the
her,
Church
it's
of
about
England.
But me and my ones.
You forget she's the head of the Church of
Yeah.
England.
That's not really my problem on Christmas Day.
But Christmas is a
I am
Christian
cooking.
festival.
It's a Christian
I'm
festival.
cooking a feast with cranberry sauce and roast potatoes.
Yeah, what more do
I've
you want?
got. I'm all sorts of things on Christmas Day. I'm playing games. I'm trying to stop the dogs from eating the wrapping paper. I'm cooking.
Why are you stopping the dogs eating the wrapping paper? That's
Because
another Christmas tradition.
I
gone.
can't afford the
Yeah.
pets.
What's
I would wait for you to say, I
the
can't-
glittery
can't-
booze?
Yeah, who wants to do that on Boxing Day?
I'm telling you though, go and buy some croissants to have on Christmas morning.
No,
You won't
no.
be sorry.
I get up in the morning, I have a nice cup of tea, we open the presents, I sometimes have a slice of toast, and that's it, because I want space for that dinner that's coming.
Don't need space.
Yeah, but you
It's
think
always
being
space.
hungry is a mistake. Being
We go
too
to
hungry.
we go to my mum's
Oh.
house. We always go to my mum's house on Christmas Day, and that is, everyone says their mum's dinner is the best dinner on earth, but my mum's actually is. So and so it's an awesome fest.
Yeah, but the thing is, right? What you're forgetting is if you're too hungry, when it comes to lunchtime, you wolf the food too fast, and then it sits too heavy, and then you don't eat as much.
That's the way
You're
of my
better to
life.
pace yourself.
I can wolf and eat a
The other
lot.
thing is, you mentioned that your granny who you keep in the cupboard, and for years and years we used to have my grandmother come round, and we did Christmas as she did it, and her parents did it before her, and so on. And as much as you were saying about the food, afternoon food, always where there was a salad there with sliced ham, so on, so on. And now she dies, and
You still wheel her out for
We-
dinner.
we carry on with this tradition until one year my mother says, I really don't like doing this salad. Does anybody else,
It's something
really
to do with
like
old
it?
people. It's like salad.
And my father said, well, I've never liked it. My brother said, well, I've never liked it. And I said, well, I've never liked it. And my mother said, well, I've never liked it. So we haven't done it since. But I mean,
But we
I must admit,
that
we always
was after at least
we
25 years
always
of
have
doing
salad,
it.
and my nan only eats like two of the cherry tomatoes, and that's it. But we have it.
But we have a mixture of all of you, because we have the leftovers like Susan. We have a little bit of buffet. We have some salad. It's always there, and then we tend to make. Oh, well, I personally love to make a sandwich of the leftovers. And
Does
the salad.
anyone actually eat
What a
that
great
salad
team.
though, other than your mum?
Yeah, people. Yeah, everyone. The salad
I'm
don't
not
go to
sure.
waste.
It's just.
My stepdad will eat anything that moves and things that don't move and things that never were going to move again.
I put a salad on the Boxing Day table, and I swear to God, it literally does not get touched most of the
Yeah.
time. But I do it, and this is one of the first years I've not bothered to buy the stuff for it. I've just bought extra
Fancy
cheese.
that.
A, it will save you money not buying it. B, it'll save
No,
you throwing
I think
food
you
away,
have to
isn't it?
have it because
No,
it
you
just
don't.
no, you do because you have to have that token thing to at least pretend you're going to try and be healthy.
So,
No.
so in
That's
your
not
Instagram
Christmas.
chats, it looks a little bit better.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for telling us all about your Christmas days. Now, I was going to ask each of you to do just a Christmas message to our viewers because I doubt we will do another podcast before the new year now. So we'll go around each person and what you would like to say to anybody who's been kind enough to tune in and watch Apologetic since we began it a couple of months ago. Sam?
I would like to say a number of things. First of all, never eat yellow snow.
There's that wine
And
kicking
never
in.
eat brown snow.
Oh, that was number 2. You threw my second thing. But that was my second thing. My third thing is be happy and have a nice Christmas and try to feel pleased with yourself and your life because you only get one life.
Because no one else is coming.
And you could be dead in the new year, so make the most of it.
Oh, how grisly you are.
No, it's positive, make the most of Christmas.
That's positive,
You
guys.
never
I've
know.
heard better.
You never know what Christmas could be your last,
Never know
and make
what's
the
round
most of it.
corner. Yeah.
I feel like I could say nothing can actually come out better than what you just did.
Come on, Susan.
Just thank you for listening. We really actually enjoy this. It's a big laugh. Even better with the wine. So thank you for listening, and any feedback would be great. So yeah, see you in the new year.
Jonathan?
The thing to remember about Christmas is an opportunity to binge watch something on your,
Netflix
your
is what you're
Netflix
looking
or
for.
whatever. Yeah. So,
Boomer.
I
TV.
wish you a happy Netflix box set day.
It's called Netflix and Chill, Jonathan.
No, that's a totally
I don't
different
think you
thing.
know. I don't think you know.
No, it's not.
That is a totally different thing.
It's not, because sometimes you do want to watch Netflix and chill, and you say that, and everyone looks at you like, no, I just want to watch some Netflix.
I hear that
really
sometimes
think we
people
think-
invite you around for Netflix and chill when they haven't got Netflix.
And it gets awkward when you turn up naked.
My message is thank you so much for tuning into Unapologetic. We do our best to be entertaining, and I hope you find it entertaining too. Wish you all an absolutely fantastic
Can I say one more
Christmas.
thing before we go?
I love you ruining my stride. Go on then, go ahead, Sam.
I just want to say that everyone that listens to this and hates us and takes the mickey out of us, keep doing it, please, because every time you do it, you add an extra view, so we love it. Share it with your friends, take the mickey out of us more, because all you do is boost our views.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We love the lefties and haters' salty tears. They are refreshing to us. And look, that last video got 28,000 views. Pow! See you all in the new year. Bye.